Welcome, collectors, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Diecast Emporium. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the Diecast Masters Transport Series 1/50 scale Peterbilt model 567 set forward front axle, tandem axle with pusher axle, ox body Stampede dump truck. Yes, a bit of a mouthful by any standards, but this is the second of three in the initial release of the new ox body 1/50 scale dump trucks. Now, you may have just finished watching the first review I did, which was on the International. This is, of course, the second, which is the Peterbilt, and the third you will see very shortly on the Kenworth. Coming later on this year, there will be two more in this series with the new ox body dump trucks. There will be a Western Star, and then also a Cat CT660. Now, if you guys have never seen a Transport Series video, or maybe you've never even seen one of my videos, first off, welcome. Secondly, we always begin by showing the unboxing process. Now, this is actually not the model's box. This is what's known as an outer shipping box. You cut one side, open it up. The outer shipping box primarily protects the actual model's box that's inside, which is this right here. And that gives us our first glimpse at the model right here, which is a nice rendering of it. The Peterbilt logo, 1/50 scale. The item number, once again, 71077. On the back of the box, this is where things start to heat up and get really interesting. You have a trio of pictures depicting the functionality on the model, as well as some information on the real Peterbilt 567, such as the fact that it has a PACCAR 12.9-liter engine, which, depending on configuration, has 405 to 510 horsepower. Over here, we have some information on the Ox Stampede dump body, which is an elliptical dump body design, lengths of 10 to 21, width 85 to 96, side heights 36 to 72, with a capacity of 6 to 31 cubic yards. By the way, the top of the box, all of the Transport Series models, the top always has a color match corresponding to the OEM, so in this case, it's Peterbilt red. All right, stick your finger in the supplied finger hole. First thing you'll see out of the box is the Diecast Masters Transport Series catalog. This has every product in their Transport Series range. Like the Cat models, this is updated quarterly with new releases, such as the new Kenworth models, the new Freightliner models, new lowboys. The list goes on and on. It's always helpful to hang on to any paperwork that comes with any model. In the first layer of the box, you will see two different mud flaps that you can put on the truck. In this case, it's Peterbilt or ox bodies. And then on the other side, there's a single exhaust stack tip. I'll show you where these go as we get into the assembly process here in a minute. In the bottom layer of the foam rubber, of course, is your dump truck, so be very careful what you grab onto. And lift straight up, and now your dump truck is free from the packaging. The assembly process is pretty straightforward. You have a single exhaust stack, which for the Peterbilt goes on the passenger or the right-hand side, drops it straight into the already pre-designated hole. This takes a steady hand and a bit of patience, but once you can get it right, it's pretty satisfactory. Now, for minor detailing, you can angle it to the rear, to the side, or even if you want it slightly angled to the front. But for this case, we're just going to angle it off to the right. Make sure you put your dump body back down. As I told you before, there are a couple different mud flap options. You can have the Peterbilt one or the ox body dump one. Since we put the ox body dump one already on the International that we just reviewed, in this case, let's put the Peterbilt ones on. To do this, flip the truck upside down. You can see that there are two holes right here and right here, which again can be a little bit difficult to pick up on camera, but they are there. Again, this requires a bit of patience and can be a bit tedious and time-consuming because there's a small hole on the end of the mud flap that needs to go into a small hole here. So let's go ahead and get this done real quick. All right, there's one in, and there's two in. All right, those went in rather well for the second time. So with the mud flaps and exhaust stack tip fitted, your assembly is complete. Let's begin the detail aspects of the model. We will start at the front. There is a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of chrome on this truck, including the grille, the bumper, the headlight covers and stocks, the mirrors, the visor, your running light covers, and even some aspects of the dump box are chrome. There's a Peterbilt badge here, your Peterbilt ornament at the top of the hood, Turning the truck to one side, you can see that the tank and access stairs to access the cab once again are chrome. There is a blue filler cap at the tank right here. Mud flap here. We already went over the mud flaps at the rear. DOT striping all throughout this truck, particularly on both sides of the dump box. You have ox bodies on both sides of the truck as well, and there's even a small ox body logo right here on the portion of the dump box that protects the cab. Moving towards the rear, we have yet another ox body logo right here. Some lights, some more lights, even more lights at the bottom, and a trailer hitch, should you want to hook a tag trailer up to this truck to haul some backhoes or track loaders around, for example. This side, much the same. Here's your exhaust with a grab handle on it on this side. Door latch, some lights, once again another Peterbilt logo, and that brings us back around to the front where we started. Alright, for the second half of this video, let's go over the functionality, and we start by looking underneath, because you'll notice that there's a drop axle on this truck, so let's demonstrate that now. Right now you can see that it's in the raised or carry position, so you can use it out of service when the truck is empty, but let's say you need to spread a little bit more weight around these axles because your dump box is full. Well, you can do that pretty easily. You just drop it down, and now it's grounded and moving with the rest of the wheels. So that mechanism works quite well. Your front axle, speaking of axles, is steerable, and because of the design on the Peterbilt, it doesn't clash quite as much on the fender wells as it did on the International, so you can achieve more of a steering angle on this truck than you did on the International. The truck also features an opening hood, which reveals some interesting detail components for the PACCAR motor inside, including the PACCAR name. We're not quite done yet with the truck portion because your doors open. Both the driver's door and the passenger door open to a pretty good angle. And again, it might be difficult to pick up on camera, but there's a detailed dash with the Peterbilt logo on the center of the steering wheel. It is also possible, if you wish, to put one of the Diecast Masters 1/50th scale operator figures behind the wheel of the truck if you wish to have a driver. Here's a look at the passenger side. We already went over the functionality of the drop axle. So let's finish up with the functionality of the dump box. This has the same three-stage cylinder that we saw not only on the International, but also on the Diecast Master CT660 that we've seen for years. So there's your three-stage cylinder. 1, 2, 3. So you can get a pretty aggressive angle, and of course your tailgate performs flawlessly off the charts. So how does it look if you're loading material into this with a adequately sized wheel loader? Well, we can deliver. Here is a Diecast Masters Cat 982M wheel loader, part of the Highline series. Let's bring him over. And as you can see, he has no problem getting up and over the side. So, there you go, collectors. That will conclude my review of the brand new for 2021 Diecast Masters Transport Series Peterbilt Model 567 with the Ox Stampede dump body on it. This is a fantastic model of a modern-day truck. Have to say, these Ox Stampede body trucks have really, really impressed me. Personally, as a collector, obviously, there's a lot of detail that's chalked into these trucks, and it's so good to finally have not only a licensed truck, but a licensed dump body. But you guys are the real judge. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. What do you like about them? What would you like to see improved, perhaps? Constructive criticism is always welcome on this channel. As always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, take care and be safe. I'll see you in the next review.